Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, radio listeners of Radio Veritas. Good afternoon and welcome to your beautiful program Testimony. This afternoon, of course, you're listening to FM 96.9, the Catholic radio of the Archdiocese of Douala. We salute you from the two hemispheres of this country as we broadcast from the foot of the Metropolitan Cathedral of St. Peter and Paul, situated here in Bonadebo in the Sawa capital of Douala, Cameroon. This afternoon, I'm working with Sam Miki, who is managing the Panamixer. I'm your humble servant, Augustine Wendum Doye. Good afternoon and welcome. Of course, on board Radio Veritas, we bring Cameroonians of all walks of life. This time around, we are introducing one who is from the diaspora. He lives in the Queen Elizabeth great country of Great Britain. And of course, he is a Cameroonian born. It's not this journalist who is going to make him known. He is right here in the studio of Radio Veritas, Studio 1, where we are broadcasting. And when we bring him to the microphone, you are going to discover these Cameroonian within the circle of Cameroonian intelligentsia. Of course, he has something to do as far as nation building is concerned. Good afternoon and welcome. Let's take a bus of music. When we come back, I'm going to bring to the microphone our guests. Of music, it kind of just relax you, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful listeners of Radio Veritas, preparing to get the voice of our guest of honor in the studio 1 of Radio Veritas, Dr. William Tasong. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, listeners, and good afternoon, the presenter.
You're welcome.
Pleasure to meet you.
It's really the pleasure is all ours. First and foremost, Happy New Year.
Same to you and to all your listeners.
You spend New Year in Cameroon?
No, I spend New Year at the Queen's Country, as you rightly put it, in London.
Who is Dr. William Tasong?
Dr. William Tasong is a Cameroonian born. I was born in Menji in the BLM division. And obviously I went to England in 1990 to study. And since then, I've never looked back. And I'm actually a doctor, PhD holder in civil engineering. And I'm actually here to see how we could help promote nation building and see how we could help put our country on the map, as well as be able to see how we could manage businesses more effectively and get things moving a little bit much better. And obviously, everyone would like to see our country be one of the major players within the next 20 to 30 years. And I'm here to, obviously, I'm not sure if it's the right time to start.
No, of course, because they have not known you enough. Okay. You are Dr. Tasong, William. I mean, a PhD holder in civil engineering.
Correct.
But then, Dr. Tasong, you passed to which school before getting to the Queensland?
Okay, like I said, I was born in Menji, and my first primary school was a government school in Chenfem. And I still remember those days when I used to run to school on barefoot and get my mother pounding her bear every morning for me to eat and go to school. And after that, I went to government secondary school Fontem. It is now called GBHS Fontem. And I graduated from there, and I moved to Boya, where I studied at Lycée Bilingue, Bilingual Grammar School, Boya, Moliko. And I obtained GCE A-level in 5 subjects, and I was awarded the Cameroon Government Scholarship to study in Britain.
Oh, you went to England through scholarship?
That's correct, yes.
In the good old days?
I don't know if it's the good old days or whatever.
We'll be coming to that.
We'll come to that later.
We'll be coming to that. Dr. Tasong William, married person.
Correct, yes, married with 3 children.
Okay. To Madam Tasong.
Madam Tasong, let's just put it that. Tasong, my wife's name is Gwendolyn Tasong.
Okay. Great. How long have you been in England?
I've been in England since 1990, so about 23 years.
Wow. That is a good one there. 23 years.
That's correct.
It means when you went on government scholarship, completed your studies, you never come back to Cameroon.
Well, I'm back now, and as you and your listeners are going to learn later, I'm back with a big bang.
I know. I mean, let me ask, first and foremost, why in England, when you study, why did you decide to work in England?
Well, initially, I guess when I went to England, you study, you always get the opportunity that you've gone that far. It's best to get as much and learn as much as you can before you could begin now to decide how you can apply that knowledge back in your own home country.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, we're going to learn more about how I'm now beginning to apply that particular experience and knowledge that I've acquired with all these years that I've spent in England.
23 years, of course, staying and working in the diaspora and coming back to your native Menji in Libialem subdivision, of course, of the southwest region of the Republic of Cameroon. What has changed?
I guess it's quite difficult to put things in perspective, coming from London, a massive city, and things are done very different. They're 2 distinctive places.
No, I don't want you to look at the Queensland because it will be too much for us now.
Right.
But I want you to look at Menji when you were a kid, moving on food, as you rightly explained, going to school on food and coming back. Today you are a PhD living in a developed world. Coming back after 23 years.
Well, I see a lot of major improvements. For example, I see a lot more schools now in Menji. Like, for example, when I was growing up, one of our challenges used to be that we only had Seed of Wisdom College at the time. And it was quite difficult, and people had to travel a long way to attend colleges in different parts of the Cameroon. But now I realize there are quite a lot of schools, and the children obviously have a few more opportunities than we had in those days. And I was also quite surprised to know that Menji has grown quite big now in terms of population and development, a lot of houses. And also we now seem to have a tar road in one little stretch, which is quite a major step.
Quite a major step indeed. One stretch tar road to Menji, you mean it?
Well, within the Menji itself, obviously
okay.
We have problems with the road that we think could be well fixed and get properly done, but things seems a lot. Obviously, you asked me to explain what I think is different, so I was just giving you what I.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to our guest of honor. Of course, he's coming all the way from the greatest monarchy in the world. That is the Queen Elizabeth country of Great Britain. He is based in London. Of course, that is Dr. William Tasong. He is a Cameroonian born. Yes, Dr. William Tasong, 23 years after, you are now back in Cameroon.
That's correct. And I like to say, home is home. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is nowhere like home.
Not at all. Nowhere like home.
What have you brought?
Well, what I've brought is for the past 3 to 4 years, I've been trying to see how I could obviously see to being able to transfer some of the knowledge and skills that I've acquired. Before
we actually get to what you are bringing in your briefcase now, I don't know whether it's in euro, it's in dollars, or in what, or it's in know-how, but I want to see for 23 years while you were there, what have you been doing as far as Cameroon is concerned in general and Menji in particular?
Obviously, I would say that when in Menji, I try to encourage education. Say, for example, I've been running a small scholarship program at my former school, GSS Fontem, for the past since 2001. And so I provide what was called DrTasong Memorial Prize for Science for the best science student. And that means it's a competitive prize. So the best science student at the end of the year receive that award. And with that, a lot of money that goes with it, comparatively and relatively. Enough money to be able to pay the student first year school fees at the uni. So I've been doing that for the last 10 years. And this year in particular, actually, I've decided to award 3 prizes. And so there'll be two for the upper section and 1 for the lower section doing O levels. And I'm also donating, I think, 4 microscopes to the science lab at the school. And then in terms of other things, I'm not sure we'll come back to that, but that's not all. And as like I said earlier, 3 years ago, I started a company here called DrTasong Limited. And the aim of that company is to see how we could improve the financial control and logistic management within the Cameroon business community. And we have a banking software product, and that is called DrTasong Financial Solution Suite, that enable banking organizations.
In fact, I would have loved you to a kind of step down, because you're talking to not quite to a literate community.
Right.
When you say DrTasong, because it's so a technical word.
Right.
So can you just break it down for somebody who is listening to you, will know the package you are bringing home?
Right. So DrTasong is let me just say, we're trying to find ways by which we could help build the ICT usage within Cameroon and encourage businesses to be a little bit more efficient and automate the processes of running their businesses. And by so doing, they are going to make it more efficient and more effective. And they will also put in place financial controls that will mean that when running a business, you run it, more professionally, and you're able to, at any particular time, know the financial situation in your business. You're able to know, for example, how many people you're owing and how many people owe you. What was your expenditure, what was your intake, what's your income, and all that sort of thing. And at the same time, put in place the best practices. That means that people cannot cheat, and so people can work professionally. And if somebody's dealing with a bank and making transactions and doing all that, they're quite confident there's an exposure, and everybody's happy at the end of the day because, for example, you can walk into the bank using DrTasong software product and request to see your bank statement, and be able to obviously you yourself go through every line by line item of whatever you've done in the bank that month. And by so doing, the bank cannot, obviously the bank is more exposed. The bank doesn't have a brick wall behind your transactions, so you can see all what you're doing. And also, say for example, if you go into a bank to apply for loans, the system, the DrTasong product, enables the bank to easily manage those loans and produce an application that is very visible and very easy for everybody to understand. So the customer can know when their loan will start, what are the charges they're going to pay, what is the monthly payment that they're going to make, and the documents get printed out and everybody signs, and when your loan is going to end and how much you need to pay installment, and the system automatically manage all that for you. And the bank also benefits in that they're able to, at any particular point, know what their situation is in terms of the tills or in terms of the accounts, whatever, all the different types of accounts that they give out. They're able to see the trial balance, they're able to see business intelligence. Say, for example, the system can automatically alert the bank if somebody's defaulted the payment of a loan, or if somebody's overdraft is gone past the term. The system automatically check all that and make sure that there are sufficient controls in place to stop people misusing the system in any way.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to a guest of honor. Of course, is Dr. William Tasong. He's a Cameroonian born, based in London. Of course, he is guest of honor, testifying about his own very life on Radio Veritas. I do believe that someone somewhere you're listening, and that is going to have an impact to your own business management, or whether you're involved in the banking sector or in a microfinance department. I think that Dr. William Tasong is saying something which is quite pertinent in that domain. Doctor, that new product of Microsoftware you're bringing into this sector, you are talking only about banks, is high up the banks. What was formerly used in the banking sectors and in businesses that you think is archaic, you need to introduce a new system, a new product in order to ameliorate.
Yeah, first of all, I should also say that the banking solution that I described earlier was even our old product. I'm here today to launch 2 new additional products. The first one is the DrTasong Logistic Management and Financial Control. And that product enables not just the banks, but other businesses out there to be able to do more financial control of whatever activities they're involved in. And it enables them to automate the processes of running all their businesses from obviously start to finish, and their exposure to customer, their exposure to their creditors, and their exposure to their debtors is all well documented and easily processed. Say, for example, let's just take a simple little company that is maybe producing a soap manufacturing company. So that company has to buy oil to manufacture soap. They probably have to buy other things. They have to pay for staff. And at the end of the day, a customer have to come in and place an order to say, I want 20 boxes of soap, for example. That company has to manage that process as well. And at the end of the day, they have to be able to account for every little step of what they've done. Currently, just imagine yourself doing that process on a piece of paper. So you buy for oil, you pay for staff, you produce the goods, and then you package them, you sell them, and then you collect the money. You can imagine how tedious that would be if you have to do that on paper. So what the Azizi River Logistic Management Solution does is it enables that customer to, instead of buying, when you want to buy an oil to a vendor, you simply raise a requisition. That requisition get approved maybe by the management. Then you raise a purchase order, send it to that supplier. They supply you the goods, and obviously you may also not need to sell those goods. When you manufacture the goods and you're selling them, you have to also prepare an order when the clients come in to buy. And again, you raise an order and you send that order to the client. And the client may either like it or may refuse, or they may change one or two things. Maybe I only want 17 boxes of soap. So you prepare 17 boxes and you send that to the client. You also need to be able to process invoices and be able to process the payments that goes with that. And that is not all. After you've done all the processing, you now need to go into the accounting side. How much did I buy the soap? How much did I pay my staff? And how much did I sell? Did I give out any discounts? What is the tax, VAT that I need to collect? So all that thing, just imagine doing that on a piece of paper and a pen, how complicated it will look. But on the Azizi River software solution, you're able to, more or less, at the click of a button, get a detailed report, all the transaction journals and the entries that you've done. You've paid people, you've borrowed, people bought on credit, people bought you've sold on credit, or you bought on credit yourself to sell. You're able at the end of the day to reconcile very easily and produce accounting statements that will enable you know exactly the position of your business. You know, how much you owe, how much your profit was, how much tax you need to pay at the click of a button. So as simple as that.
Dr. William Tasong is Azizi River software solution your creation, or it is a kind of a European creation you want to come and introduce in Cameroon or in Africa?
That's my personal creation. So I'm the inventor of the Azizi River software solutions suits. And like I said, today we're not just launching the logistics system, we also launched a second product called the Azizi River Data Interchange. And what that does is it enables a banking organization or anybody out there to be able to manage the process of mobile money sending and collection. So with Azizi River, the new data interchange solution, you could also manage a network of agents that are doing all the money sending and collecting, as well as manage all the reconciliation activity that takes place after money is sent and collected, and the revenue that the bank or whoever is managing the process gets at the end of the day, all the charges, all the taxes, and all the reporting that is to be done. And we do most of our reports following the COBAC regulations, and such that anyone using Azizi River's finance software will be more or less COBAC compliant and be able to have almost no issue with the regulators.
For how long has this new product, Azizi River software solution, been existing?
The first solution we launched here in Cameroon, in Douala here in 2009. And now, today, I'm adding 2 additional products, the logistic as well as the money.
Have you evaluated the response for the first? What has been? Have you tested this product? Is it an experiment, or is it really a dream come true?
It is.
And yes, what do you have testimonies?
It's a dream come true, because we have banks using it here in Cameroon. Even here in Douala, we have a branch in Moyoka, in Boya, and even in Menji, my own hometown. And I've actually sent some of my family members to go and have a look, and they're quite impressed. So everybody's, from the testimonies that we got, it is what actually have driven me to add these 2 additional products. It's from the need, and I could see that. There's a lot of need for people to be more ICT compliant in the way they run businesses, and we're encouraging people out there to contact Azizi River Limited. Our office is in Boya, in Moliko, so we could see how we can help them really improve their processes. And I will give you a simple example. I went to a hotel the other day, and like I said, each time somebody buys something or some client comes in, they open a receipt book and manually write whatever they take, whatever they're eating, whatever they've done. And you can imagine having to do that every day, and then at the end of the day, you go and count those receipts and try to see how much you collected today and how much you spend. You just imagine how complicated it looks. And you could make that very simple by applying the Azizi River logistics software solution. That will enable you automatically, somebody take a drink, you just simply click a button and the drink get recorded in your bill. And at the end of the day, you click a button and the summary of the bill comes out and you give them. And that is not all. You no longer need to worry about the accounting aspects, being able to add all the sums and make mistake in the process. When you're doing all these manuals, there's room for a lot of errors. So you don't need to worry all about that. The system automatically does that for you and process the thing, and you can bring a receipt and give to the customer very easily, and also manage your tellers and tills and know, what is your position at any particular moment in time.
How convinced can somebody be, Dr. William Tasong, listening to you, to think that using this product as the derived software solution would a kind of curve fraud or corruption or mismanagement in businesses or in banking, as you're trying to say? Is it a guarantee?
There is definitely a guarantee. Like I would say, we always give our customers the chance to try and see it for themselves, rather than me sit here and talk to them. They should contact my staff for a demo. We're happy to demo the solution to them, and they will see themselves. And if they can find any loophole on there, we'll be happy to address them. But as far as we are concerned, existing staff are so happy with the product. And it's like, if you have your house well bolted and well chained, you can believe that the thief would struggle to get in. So the Azizi River solution is all around making sure that there's no room and no hiding place for any crook.
Let me ask you, this is done with banking, business sector, but you're talking to a country where people live from hand to mouth. How does this new initiative, the Azizi River software solution, impact the life of the common Cameroonian?
Let's first say that, if the whole country is going well, I suppose everybody is going to benefit at the end of the day. And the whole aim of Azizi River is that we're looking to put Cameroon among one of the medium income countries by 2030, according to the government program. And to do that, ICT and the computer technology obviously is going to play a very key role. And no economy in the world today can succeed without ICT. And the days of paper management are long gone, and I'm sure you understand that. So if the country is going well, the economy is going well, then I can see the common man benefiting just as well. And Azizi River also, obviously, we employ people, and that has a knock-on effect in terms of how the thing filters down to everyone.
Even while in London, Dr. Tasong, William, you studied the business climate in Cameroon. Do you find it conducive that this initiative of yours will pay off?
Well, it's like I say, Cameroon, like every other country, is still learning, and even in London, people are still learning how to do business. But we think that by introducing all these financial controls and accounting best practices and closing all the loopholes and making everything transparent, like I say, you can walk into the bank that is using our Azizi River software and ask for a statement of your account and be able to see all the detailed transactions that you've done, which means that you go home happy knowing that, yes, my bank said my balance is XYZ amount, and I'm happy because I can see that I withdraw X amount on this day, I withdraw that on that day, and everybody's quite happy. So we think that if everybody were to introduce such efficient accounting best practices, then we think some of our ills that obviously not being very favorable for business will be a thing of the past.
Dr. Tasong, William, it seems your creation, which is quite laudable, is only beneficial to bankers, business people. Can an individual benefit from this initiative?
Oh yes, the individual benefit even more than the banks. The aim here is to, like I said, if you say, for example, if you walk into a bank that using Azizi River to apply for a loan and take a loan, you are able to see automatically from the application how much charge you're going to pay, how much repayment you're going to make, what is the loan duration that you're going to do, and at the end of the day, you get what installments you're going to pay, and the whole thing is written in a document that you can sign, and the Azizi River system automatically do that for you. All the right to the point where you finish paying the loan, the system manages that, and you are happy because you get your account statement on a monthly basis or whenever you would request that from your bank. So I think it obviously will benefit the customer and improve the customer experience a great deal.
So you're insinuating that before now, people had been falling prey to ignorance when dealing with banks or loans and all the like.
I wouldn't put it exactly bluntly like that, but I would think that like everyone, you and I, it's always nice if you can see that the transaction that you made at the bank ties in with what you're seeing on the paper.
What advice are you giving to Cameroonians who listen to you through Radio Veritas?
I'm telling them to contact Aziz the River for their solution in terms of, we don't just provide software, we also provide consulting. So if you're out there thinking of improving your business through ICT, you should trust that Aziz the River is the place to be. Because like I said, I've spent so many years working with large multinational banks at the City of London, all the huge financial centers and financial banks around the world. I've done work in the USA, I've done work in the Europe, done work in the Asia, and I've done work in Africa. So I'm talking from experience, and I've seen
coming so big from London. Dr. William Tasong, is this services a kind of voluntary, or people have to pay a huge sum of billions for it because it will not be possible for Cameroonians?
I think, like I said, my number one priority is the development of my country. So I could easily sit comfortably in London and have a good time. But I'm not like that. So the reason I've spent all this time and spent all this effort trying to put in place these financial control issues is that I really truly believe that if our country has to develop, it will take people like everyone. It's a general thing, not just one individual. So all of us have to work like one, and everybody has to contribute and do their best. So I don't think I can even go as far as trying to put the real actual price of my software on the software, because that's not really the point. The point is to contribute and make sure I make a good impact in terms of making sure that my country moves the right way.
Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to our guest of honor. That was Dr. Tasong William, a Cameroonian born based in England. He is right here in Cameroon to help move this nation ahead. He has testified on Radio Veritas in the program Testimony about his life and where he is, his vision for this country. Doctor, we are honored having you talk to humanity on Radio Veritas. We pray God will guide and protect you.
It's a pleasure to have been here, and I also hope that God guides everyone out there, do their job more diligently and use the best practice possible. And the only way we can move our country forward is to do things the right way.
Do you people in England go to church, Doctor?
I go to church every Sunday, and I'm a Christian, and I take Holy Communion every Sunday.
This is extraordinary.
And I believe that what I'm doing is God's work, not really me. It's not my knowledge.
Ladies and gentlemen, you listen to it all. I'm your humble servant, Augustine Gwendundoya. I've been working with Sam Meki, managing the Panamixer. Keep listening to programs on Radio Veritas. Bye for now.